Here in the desert just outside Roswell is where the alleged crash happened some 50 years ago. Was it a flying saucer? Were there alien bodies on board? Or was it just a weather balloon, as the Air Force claimed? People still come and look for some kind of clue. But the evidence of the alien crash didn't come from here. It was revealed halfway around the world.
An alien autopsy is always going to be the subject of ridicule. Who's going to believe that an alien autopsy is an alien autopsy? It's just a ridiculous subject.
Ray Santilli owns a small music and video distribution company in London. He was acquiring some 1950s rock and roll footage when an elderly American cameraman he had been dealing with said, "By the way, I have something else to show you."
And, you know, we looked at it, and it was just the most incredible piece of film. And obviously, my first impression is, this can't be real.
What Santilli saw and eventually purchased were reels of black and white film showing an autopsy being performed on a strange humanoid being. The cameraman, who claims to have had a top military clearance, told Santilli that in 1947 he was flown urgently to Roswell, where he filmed the recovery of several of these beings, both alive and dead, as well as the autopsy of one of them.
He set aside certain canisters of film which he felt there were problems in processing, and they needed special treatment during processing. The rest he sent straight back to Washington. And when he eventually processed the remaining canisters, he tried and went to great lengths to try and get Washington to come and pick the reels of film up, but they didn't. He kept it in a cardboard box, simple as that, and he kept it in his archive. The question of, well, is it a hoax, then goes back to the incident itself. What he saw was a disc, a flying disc that had crashed. It was on his back. He saw all these creatures that he calls freaks laying outside of the vehicle, screaming in pain for most of it. But he can't tell you where they came from. He doesn't know. While I was in his house, and as you would expect with anyone of that age, he's got a great deal of memorabilia. You know, there's photographs on the wall, there's his photo albums, there's his diary. I mean, you can see his enrolment papers, his discharge papers, and he seemed a genuine enough person.
So why is Santilli unwilling to reveal the cameraman's identity?
Our agreement with the cameraman was to protect his privacy, which is how we acquired the footage in the first place. If he can get some kind of assurance that he's not going to be hounded by people, he may want to come out. I don't know. He may be watching this program right now and thinking, "What am I going to do?" His concern is, firstly, he's in his 80s. He just wants a peaceful life. That's the first thing. Secondly, he's accepted money, which is cash, and what effect is that going to have in terms of his tax position as well?
I think the pressure will increase upon him. I think he'll realise that if he is telling the truth, and I've no reason to doubt that, if this was, you know, a crash of a space vehicle from wherever, that it is the most momentous event in human history, and he owes it to mankind to tell his story.
We've satisfied ourselves that the footage is genuine. You know, it's not a question of the Hitler diaries or a situation like that. All we're doing is we're placing it into the public domain and saying, look, here it is, please investigate it.
Coming up next.
The head was too large for the body, and the skin color was a pink.
Is this footage authentic? Experts from Kodak give their opinions. And later, for the first time ever, is this wreckage from a spaceship that crashed near Roswell?
You wonder if that might not have been some sort of control mechanism.
Alien Autopsy, Fact or Fiction will return.